What up, angels? Today we are reviewing the Sony a7Riii right after the intro. What's up, guys? Today we're reviewing the a7Riii, and those of you stopping for the first time, I'm Mike Angel. If you guys haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Had this camera for 5 months already and pretty much used it for everything, for pictures, for video. I mean, you name it. I've used it in crappy weather, in drizzling weather, not raining, but in heavy drizzle. Did good. I hope it's weather sealed. It says it is weather sealed, but seeing it around, I'm not too sure if it's completely weather sealed, but so far I haven't had any problems. a7Riii, it's a 42 megapixel camera, which, wow, the pictures that you see right now, you'll see the pictures right now. The pictures you can take with this camera in full frame, it's at 42 megapixels, and you can crop the hell out of it. As you can see, I took a picture of the moon. We had the blood moon, and I took it with an 85 millimeter. I did not have no zoom lens or anything. This is the only lens I have for it, and I took it with an 85 millimeter at 1.8. 2 megapixels really shines on this camera. So when it comes to pictures, it takes amazing pictures paired with a great lens. It goes into Super 35, and that has 18 megapixels, and that kind of gives you a 1.5 times zoom in a way. So this 85 becomes a 127 millimeter when you put into the Super 35. So you guys can see, I mean, I'm taking pictures both with the Super 35 or the 42 megapixels. So I'm using the 42 or the 18, still both, they take great pictures. It's not that heavy. It's a really light camera, a small camera too. So you have big hands. So the pinky is feeling lonely, so it's good to buy an extra adapter that pretty much screws on here and pretty much gives you a little room, or buy the battery grip, which I did. So I bought the battery grip, as you can see here. This really helps a lot to pretty much get it going as it is, but I'll give you a review on the battery grip later on. At 42 megapixels, gives you 76 frames in RAW format or JPEG format. As right now, as you'll see, I have it in high plus. On JPEG, extra fine, 42 megapixels. There you go. So you see that little bar right there, it's going up. So that's the buffering bar. And from there you can start taking pictures still. Bam. And then right now it's at 66 photos and it's going down. So it's buffering there, the photos, as you can see, 58, 57, 56. I mean, it's kind of reading the files really quick. And so this camera at 42 megapixels, RAW format, it does over 35 frames. And then crop Super 35, it does around over 70 frames. And on JPEG, on 42 megapixels, it does 76 frames. In Super 35, it does over 143 frames. I mean, the frames you get, man, it's overkill, man. It is. Just to let you know the RAW file size, it's at RAW format at 1486. And when you go to Super 35, it gives you a little bit more. So right now it's at Super 35. That little symbol right there gives you it's at Super 35 at 18 megapixels, and it's at 3432. So that's what it is. So now let's go to JPEG. And on JPEG, as you can see, it has 4,549 on 42 megapixels. And on 18 megapixels, it's over 999. I mean, that's the most it can go. But like if you take pictures right now, see, I just took over 13 pictures and it's still at 9999. So it's way more than that. So at 18 megapixels and Super 35 on JPEG, you can take way more than 10,000 pictures, which is more than you need at 18 megapixels. Camera, man, the autofocus on this thing is quick. The eye autofocus is just amazing. It just focuses on the eye. The person can turn around so you can see and then come back, and the green square is right on the eye, and it's just focusing on the eye, which where you want it to be. Take those pictures, those snapshots. The viewfinder on this thing is electronic. It is half an inch, and it is amazing. I mean, see the screen right there, and it has a little sensor right underneath right here on the viewfinder. As soon as something gets near on the viewfinder, the screen turns off and the viewfinder turns on. And when you're not seeing it, the viewfinder turns off and the screen turns back on, which is a smart thing that Sony did. The viewfinder's not turned on all the time, wasting battery and so on and so forth. The focusing points that you have, it's almost all around the screen. It's just pretty much like a very small, that's all it goes. It has a bow mode. It has a 30 seconds and all the way up to 0.4 seconds of exposure time. And also the shutter speed has a 1/3 of a second all the way to 1/8000 of a second. The ISO is from 50 all the way to 102. So it has two SD cards. Slot 1 has the SD2 card, and slot 2 has the SD1 card. Now what I have is the 128 gigabyte from Sony. The read speed is 260 megabytes per second. The write speed is 100 megabytes per second, which is a really nice SD card. It came with a camera when I ordered the camera, which was amazing. The ports that it has: microphone, PC sync port, has a headphone jack, it has a HDMI, USB-C port, USB multi-port. That's on the left side of it. This thing, it has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, so you can connect, you know, pretty much anything. You can connect your phone and transfer pictures. I still can't find a way to transfer video, but you can transfer pictures through your smartphone, connected Wi-Fi, and transfer the pictures. The hot shoe here, right here, for pretty much your microphone or your flash or anything like that. For being so small, I mean, it feels a little, you know, quality, you know, it has a quality feel to it. The buttons feels nice and smooth. The dials feel, they don't feel soft or loose or too firm or hard to turn. I mean, it feels really good. Guys, this camera is fully customizable. All the buttons you see on your camera on the a7R3, it's all customizable. Settings, or the manual knob here, or the knob here to switch it out, you know, for your movie, your S&Q, your auto, and so on. So right now I have it in manual 1, and there you go, the 1, 2, 3 manuals, and each little manual area. So you have 4 different folders, in other words, but the ones in 1, 2, 3, there's 4 folders within them. So like if I put it in 1, you can see M1, M2, M3, M4. Those are your memory recalls, so you can go to that point if that's what you want to do. Like right here, I don't have no files because I don't really use them, the memory recalls. But on the 1, I have it on 1/60th of a second shutter speed at 1.8. To customize that, you go to your menu settings, and pretty much you put it the way you want it. So let's say I want it at 100, and I want it to start at 200 ISO automatically with 2.8 f-stop. Let's just say that, right? Go to your menu settings, go in folder 1, which is the picture format. Go in folder 3, the shoot mode / drive 1. Go to memory. Go to memory, and it lets you hear 1, 2, or 3, which one you want to save it on. Let's say we want to save it on 1. Registering, and there it is. So now, like I told you, it's at 100 shutter speed, 2.8 f-stop at 200 ISO. That's where I want it. So let's say we switch it to menu 2. It's at 125, 1.8 in auto ISO. Then we put it back to menu 1. And there it is, 100, 2.8 at 200 ISO. And also you can customize your movies, pretty much what frames you want. So let's say you want 4K or HD. That's where you want. So 4K at 30 frames per second. These are the only options you have. Or if you go to HD, you have up to 24p all the way up to 120p. And whatever you choose, let's say 24p, and you go back to the put the way you want it. So customize everything the way you want it. Go to back to folder 1 at folder 3 and go to memory and save it there, and it will be at 24p as you can see, and that's what you're going to be saving. All right, now I show you how to have quick access to your customization, how you want it on here. So you have up to 4 different folders and recalls, 4 different recalls on each, on 1, 2, 3, so which is freaking awesome. Now we're going to customize the buttons how you want it, and the way you do that, you go on movie 2 right here. So this is one picture format 1, this is a movie format 1 right here. So you go there, folder 8. So you go to folder 8, and from here you get to customize your keys the way you want them. So you get to customize on your picture format, when you're on picture format, when you're on movie format, and when you're on playback format, you get to customize all your keys the way you want it. So you just go in here and you go to control wheel 1. So right here, the control wheel 1, which is this wheel right here, you go in there and you choose either you want an ISO, your shutter speed, aperture, or white balance, picture effects, so on and so forth. But I have it in ISO. And then your custom keys, so 1, 2, 3, 4, so which is right here. So you have your custom key 1, 2, 3, and 4. And where I have them is the crop sensor on 1, focus area points on 2, eye autofocus on 3, and touchpad to turn on or off on 4. And that's when I'm on picture format, right? Or in movie format. Pretty much the movie format and picture format, I have it exactly the same. So yes, there you go, man. So my center button right here, which is the wheel right here, there's a center button here. I don't know if you can see it, but I have it for my silent shooting, so I can turn off the shutter speed. So when you're taking pictures in an event, like at a wedding or anywhere you are where it needs to be quiet because they're teaching or whatever, I always turn on my silent shooting at right there at a click of a button, so the shutter speed will be turned off. And then there you go. So left, right, down button, that's where I have it on. And then there you go. And then the rest of the stuff. So also some of the Sony cameras, Sony lenses, have a button right there, which I usually use it for the eye autofocus as well. And that's what that button is right here. The focus hold button. That's what that is. All right. So also the cool thing about in this one, you get to rate right here, custom keys 1. I have it on C1. So when I'm in playback mode, right here, I get to rate it. So when I click the C1, as you can see, you'll see a star going up there. So go to playback, and you see that star, 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 5 stars, and then goes back to none. So you get to rate your pictures, the ones that you like. So when you're taking pictures and you want to rate that picture right there, you just go there, rate that picture, and whenever you go to editing, it's gonna save it there. So it will save your stars, 1 through 5 stars, which is pretty cool, which makes your workflow a lot easier. And that's how you customize your buttons, and then you customize your settings on the camera on this bad boy right here. And there you go, man. So you rarely have to go to the menu settings, because the way you customize your camera, man, this camera is fully customizable. The camera itself has a 5.5 stock in-body image stabilization, which for you handheld users, it has that 5.5 stock image stabilization with a 14 stock dynamic of range, which is really good, especially when you're trying to bring the colors in together in low light situations, it does amazing video. So this thing has 24p, 30p, 60p, and 120 frames per second at high definition 1080. That's your options there. And it also has 4K at 24p and 30p. It does not have 60 yet. Calm down. It doesn't have 60 yet, but hopefully Sony will somehow upgrade the software or something, the firmware, whatever it is, to maybe unlock 60 frames per second. Who knows? I don't know. But 60 frames per second 4K would be nice in this camera. That's the only thing this thing was lacking. This camera is amazing on its own, great video quality, 120 frames per second in slow motion. You can get some buttery smooth video with this. And we'll check, run out of battery. Talking about the batteries next. These are the NPFZ100 batteries, rechargeable to the 2280 megahertz. The batteries rechargeable by Sony. These things are pretty pricey. They're almost $80, $70 to $80 per battery. It'll last you a good, the whole shoot pretty much, video and photography. It'll last you a really good shoot, but just to be at ease at mind, get yourself a second one just to know you have that extra battery. But I got myself a battery grip that came with 2 of these. These are 50 bucks for 2. And these are 2500 megahertz. Which has a little bit more kick to the original battery. But I have not really tested these out, see if they actually last longer than the original. But I'll put these to the test. So that'll be another video, guys. So you can customize this camera the way you like it. So really, you really don't need, I know there's a lot of complaints out there that Sony has a complicated menu system. So in folder 1, you have up to 14 different pages there. On this one, it's the movie mode, so you have 9 pages there. The Wi-Fi area, 2 pages. The playback, you have 3 pages. The settings for the camera, you have 7 pages. And then this one, you can customize it the way you want it. So pretty much these are the ones that I use the most, so I put them in your own custom folder. You can make your own custom folder. And pretty much that covers it, man. I already showed you the menu system. The menu system's not that complicated as most people say. Once you get used to it, and you kind of remember where everything is at. But really, you never go to the menu system once you already have it customized to your liking, where you have your knobs and all this and that. I mean, once you already have your custom folders in there, you don't need anything else. I mean, but yeah, so that's pretty much an overview, live view of the Sony. I mean, it does really great. As you saw, the pictures, the video, it does really well. I also ordered this polarizer, which is really amazing. As you can see, this is a 85mm 1.8 by Sony. So that is the review for the a7R3, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please hit that subscribe button. You want to learn more about pretty much gear that I have. Also, I bought this from Power Supply, or Power Extra, I'm sorry, from Power Extra. It's a grip extender pretty much, as you can see here. There it is, a grip extender. The pinky's not so lonely anymore, as you can see. Yeah. So we'll review this Power Extra Supply battery grip for the Sony a7R3. It works really well. It works great. It does what it needs to do. That's a review for the a7R3. Hopefully you guys liked it. Please hit the subscribe button, hit that little channel bell on the side, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.